Hello guys and welcome back to another skill point guide video covering Total War Warhammer 3 on Immortal Empires. Now today we'll be talking about Nakari. I kind of just want to jump right into his video because I do have quite a bit to explain in terms of spending his skill points. Much like the Scarbrand video, if you guys haven't checked that one out yet, we are going to save some points in order to get some of his special skills right away. You can unlock Willing Prey at rank 10, and we want to end up saving 4 points to get some of his special skills there. So just bear that in mind as we go through this video. But to start off with spending some of his skill points, I definitely like to go down his blue line a little bit, getting Root Marcher and then also putting 3 points into the Slaves to Excess, just so you get more casualties post-battle. Post-battle by 25%, really good. Really good bonus to have when playing as Nakari. But then I do like to go into his magic line. Because he is your only form of magic early on in the campaign until you're able to get an Allurus. So I do like to grab his magic a little bit. Grabbing Blissful Rapture and Acquiescence is a really good debuff to speed and melee defense for an enemy. And then I do like to grab Hysterical Frenzy. It's just much better than the Pavane of Slaanesh. I probably actually would recommend not even getting it because it's just not that good for the amount of wins that you have to spend, and it's only going to last 15 seconds. It's just not going to do that much damage for you, unfortunately. Now I do like to grab Slicing Shards and Phantasmagoria. Phantasmagoria is a really good debuff, which when you're playing as Slaanesh, you want to get the enemy leadership as low as possible, as soon as possible, so you can get a lot of the passive abilities going, such as the Soul Siphon, which turns your lords into a Mortis Engine as long as the leadership of a enemy unit is wavering or lower than 50% of their base. And Slicing Shards is just a really good bombardment ability. Just have to be careful when you do cast it, because if the AI is, or the enemy is not doing anything, they will evade it. So just make sure they are in melee or firing at you with some of their missile units. That way they don't evade your bombardment there. I do like to grab Magical Reserves and Arcane Conduit just to finish out his melee line, and note that I do put 2 points into the Lash of Slaanesh because now that it is 100% armor piercing for 5 wounds of magic, it's not too bad of a spell to grab. But now as you're going through your magic line with Nakari, you'll hit rank 10, and once you hit rank 10 is when you'll unlock Willing Prey. And so you want to end up saving 4 points to rank 10. So you're going to starting at rank 6, you'll want to stop spending points because you want to be able to grab Willing Prey, Monstrous Figure, Sephoric Must, Whisper of Glory, and Harvester of Souls. And I'll go over each one here very briefly. Monstrous Figure is really good just for weapon strength, but also speed, because Nakari is a big enough entity that he's going to be able to push through a lot of enemy units. So giving him more speed is just going to be able to allow him to do that even easier. Sephoric Must is just a really good debuff. Once he hits a unit, they'll provide a little bit of a melee debuff, to that unit. Whisper of Glory is really good because it provides another melee defense debuff to enemies in a range of 35 meters. And also, at the early stages of a battle, it'll cause the enemy units to go into rampage when their leadership is super high. So it's just going to make the AI not be able to control their units for a period of time. That way, when your other units are able to do some flanking and maneuvering and causing a bunch of damage to them, the AI is just not going to be able to pull them out because they're still going to be rampaging. And then Harvester of Souls is really good because it provides a way for Nakari to regenerate during a battle. As long as he is within 30 meters of a unit being completely wiped out, he'll be able to get some regen during a battle, which is really, really good. Unsubtle Seduction is just not useful in his campaign. You don't need the diplomatic relations, and you don't need the -4 corn corruption. You're not going to be in a corn infested area for a long time in a Nakari campaign, so it's just not needed. And the Disciples of Excess, personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Disciple armies. I kind of use them more as a last resort situation because it does cost you devotees per turn. And I just think of it almost as a Regiment of Renown army. And so I'm not really concerned with the extra size with them just because I don't use them that often. But I know other people do, so it kind of depends just how you want to play. Because it could be good for you and it could not be. It just really comes down to personal preference there. But then after going down his magic line and special skill lines, I do like to go down his melee line in its entirety, just because his base stats are really good, and more charge bonus, more melee attack, more melee defense, all that stuff is just going to make him an even more powerful fighter. I do like to grab thick skin just to give him as much armor as possible, because as you can notice here, he's pretty weak to a lot of missiles because he doesn't have armor that's just naturally blocking those missile damaging units. But definitely just going down the rest of his melee line here, just grabbing everything. I do grab Indomitable just because I don't really recommend grabbing this Sword of Cain early on with the card, because you will have public order problems early on. So until you get a firm grasp of Ulthuan and whatever region really, and you have enough corruption and enough public order buildings that would be able to offset the Sword of Cain, then that would be okay. But early on, I do like the extra leadership, because he is a demonic unit, so he's not going to run away, he's just going to crumble, and that way we can just push back the time in which he will start to crumble further away in a battle there. Now, we only have 8 points left going down his magic and melee line, so you kind of got to be a little careful there. I don't go down his red line for a few reasons. One, the bonuses in the red line for Slanesh are not that great, and he personally doesn't buff any particular unit anyway. And the units early on that I use a lot of are Marauders, which if we look at the Hellish Stride, the speed plus 8% and armor plus 8 is like one of the worst buffs probably you can give a unit in the game at the moment in terms of the red line, so it's just not useful there. But I personally like to grab Supple and Spry just to give him, again, some more missile resistance for the missile issues that we've talked about already in the video. I do like to grab Mentor. Same reason as any other video that you may have seen, just being able to share some of that experience that he would otherwise basically be throwing away once he hits rank 50. And then with the remaining 4 points, I do like to go down the rest of his blue line just to grab some extra casualty replenishment rate, and also increasing your budget for seducing units, just in case you end up running into a situation where it'd be really cool if the enemy didn't have that unit. That way you can seduce that unit and take it off of them. But that is how I rank up N'Kari. Definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys think, how you end up leveling him up if you don't go down his magic line, if you end up going down his red line. Just let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys are enjoying the content via videos or the live streams. And don't forget to turn on that bell notification. And until the next video or live stream, I will see you guys later on, and have a good one. Bye.